Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Vasavvi and today I've come before you to present a course on Vasavvi's PeaCept for early years. So let me begin the course and allow me some time to share my PPT. Well, this course is an insight into the peace pedagogy, which is PeaCept for early years, a brain-based peace framework. And I'll be telling you more about this, like how I have come up with and what are the different things that is included in this framework. So, first of all, I would like to know from you what kind of world are we preparing our children for? So, we can see that there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of, you know, unmindful behavior, too much of access to the screen, and so much of distraction, so many crimes, and so many incidences which are untowards, which we had never heard of in our childhood. So, what are you as facilitators thinking of for children in the coming years? So you can type your answers in the Facebook reply area section, and I'm looking forward to some of your answers before I proceed. And also, you can write on what qualities do children need most today. Well, as you type in, I would like to, tell you about some responses which I got when I asked this question while I was training some schools. It was like, we need empathy, emotional regulation, kindness, collaboration, peaceful conflict resolution, confidence, and resilience in our children. These are the qualities that we need. And the world that we are preparing our children for is a tough world. It is really very tough. Looking at the competition, looking at the diverse kind of exposure that children have, and the inability to actually know what is good, differentiate between good and bad. So we need to give them some skills which are very essential, because when they grow up into adolescents and into teenagers, and then transition to adulthood, there are a lot of challenges that they would be facing. So, coming to what is PeaCept for early years. Now, when we're talking about peace studies, we see that there's not much of interest in terms of why peace studies in early childhood years. Peace is a big word. We already have peace. There's no war in India, so it's not like that. Peace is something that goes beyond conflict, or it is not directly, a state of war, but it is a state of calm. So here we are looking at, introducing children to emotional balance, respect for diversity, self-awareness, compassion, environmental consciousness, mindful communication, and inner well-being. So here I want that, there is something beyond academic. I mean, academic success is no longer enough. Children need inner peace, emotional intelligence, and human values. And that is where the PeaCept for early years is important. So when we are looking at, avoidance of conflict, but at the same time, we are talking about peace. So let me explain it to you in a more detailed manner. So, this pedagogy, in a way, is integrating socio emotional learning with neuroscience, how the brain develops. It is also assimilating mindfulness, the sustainable development goals. It so much aligns with the peace philosophy that we are talking about. Play based learning, how children learn through play, and why play is so much important for children. And then conscious classroom practices. Conscious classroom practices also include, how the teacher or the facilitator behaves in the classroom, how she's taking forward, how as a role model she is setting examples, what kind of environment is in there in the classroom. Is it democratic? Is it biased? So we are looking at creating conscious classroom environments and also looking at classroom spaces which are more congenial to peace development, indoor and outdoor, the entire school look and feel, the peace realm that we talk about, and so much more. Looking at the brain formation in early childhood. So, what happens in the early childhood years, we already know as educators, 90% of the child's brain develop before the age of 5. So, what happens during those years? It is not academic development. It is development in terms of forming the neural network, the synapses, brain synapses. It's how our frontal lobe is starting to understand, analyze, problem solve, negotiate, navigate. So, a lot of things are happening. And when the child is very little, they learn from the environment. It is from the people around them, it's from the environment, it's the social, cultural, environmental conditioning of the child that makes the child understand or look at himself as what they are. So many times we feel that when we look at ourselves, it's mostly what was told to us. It was more of an autopilot in terms of how we look and view ourselves instead of what we actually are. So there are many books I have read during my teenage years and maybe in my adulthood as well, where they talk about finding yourself, because we have a self image that is formed due to the people around us, due to the environmental and the social conditioning we have. So here, when we are looking at that, it is so important what kind of an environment, what kind of a atmosphere, what kind of social structure the child is exposed to in their early childhood years, because 90% of the child's brain develops, the personality is formed, all of it happens by the first 8 years of a child's life. So, stress, fear, and harsh environments negatively impact learning, and safe, loving, emotionally responsive classroom enhances neural connections. So, it is very evident that when a child experiences calmness, emotional safety, predictable routines, respectful communication, opportunities for expression, what happens? A child is more secure, a child is in the safety net, a child feels loved, a child feels, revered. And that is what builds up the child's confidence. It builds up the child's self esteem about how they look at themselves. And, they are also learning and understanding how to respect the person in front of them. The manners, the habits, the etiquettes, it all improves. There's a lot of emotional safety, there's a lot of calmness. I have personally, in my teenage years, met people, met fellow peers who were very calm, and at that time I was kind of a more reactive person than a responsive person. And I would sometimes, think how they managed to have such a calm personality. And that kept me wanting to learn more about how we can build inner peace. So I'll be going to that, in my next few slides. So here we are looking at this slide where the child, we are talking about calmness, emotional safety, predictable routines. So when a routine is predictable, when it is not haphazard, the child feels calm and safe, because they don't like surprises, they don't want surprises, and their brain is not ready to take surprises. So they need calm, predictable routines. And in fact, when we are introducing to them to surprises, they need to be more ready to accept them. So if it is a very chaotic situation or an environment or people around them who are continuously confusing them, it creates a lot of turmoil in the minds of the children. So the brain becomes more ready for learning. Now, when we are looking at what are the outcomes of the above that we are giving them, They're more ready to learn, their memory is better, their creativity is more because they are able to express themselves. The problem solving capacity grows. They develop language, they develop cognitive skills, they develop multiple skills. I would, it would completely fill up my slides if I write down the skills that they are going to develop when they are having an environment which is congenial for their growth. Believe me. And that's why the emotional climate of a classroom becomes the architecture of the child's brain. So, here, because this course is for facilitators, basically, that I'm delivering today, I would talk about classrooms, but the same is also applicable to home environments. Absolutely applicable to home environments because the child is at home for a very, very long time. And the behavior of the parents, the behavior of the siblings, how they are, talking, how they are behaving, what are the basic things, all of that actually leaves an impression in the child's mind and how they process information. So I'm coming to the 7 pillars of PeaCept for early years that I have developed, and I am concentrating on certain aspects which I feel is very, very important for children to learn from early childhood years. And one is peace within. So here we are helping children understand emotions, self-regulation, mindfulness, inner calm, and so forth. Then comes peace with others, developing empathy, kindness, sharing, collaboration, conflict resolution. Then peace with nature. So if we have peace within, we are peaceful, we love ourselves, we accept ourselves, we accept our shortcomings, we accept our responsibilities, we have ownership of things, we have ownership. And when there is ownership, you actually own your mistakes, you own your faults, and you own your success as well. Very, very important. So peace within, confidence, self-esteem. Once all of that is there, we start to mix up with people and start loving them, learning at the same time. Peace within is developed alongside peace with others, alongside peace with nature, alongside all of it. But, gradually it's going to kind of shape our relationships. It's going to shape how we look at a situation that someone else is facing, empathy, kindness, sharing, caring, compassion, trust, tolerance, all of that. And then peace with nature. Environment is where we live. The earth is our mother. Like we are in our mother's womb when we develop, we are on the mother earth, and she is someone who is giving us life. So we need to build environmental sensitivity, sustainability awareness, and love for nature, love for conservation, doing whatever best possible to conserve even every small thing that sometimes we fail to notice, like switching off a electric bulb and all of it, saving a bit of petrol, the fuels. So much chaos is happening in the world. We are seeing so many shortages happening in many areas, and that is why we need that peace with nature be developed in every child's mind right from the start. Moving on to the other pillars that I'm talking about in my PeaCept for early years, it's peace through creativity using art, storytelling, music, movement, expression as tool for emotional release and connection. So much of connection happens through storytelling. If I tell you a story of my hometown in Northeast India of Assam, if I tell you stories about our festivals, if I tell you how our culture is, how we eat, what is the kind of the culinary, the food, the basic practices that our societies follow. There's so much of understanding of each other. There's so much of acceptance. There's so much of tolerance. There's so much of inclusion that can happen. So storytelling, music, movement, there are a lot of ways in which we can get peace through creativity, peace through inclusive diversity, respecting differences, gender sensitivity, new diversity, and inclusive classroom practices. We need to teach children how they need to love another child who may not look same, who may not behave in the same manner, who may have some special abilities, who may have some handicap in some way or the other. We are looking at gender sensitivity, so much important. Gender equality, equal education to all, quality education to all. Boys and girls need not be, kind of given gender stereotypes. So we can break all of it. These kind of uh, activities, when we do through this concept, we are teaching children to respect each other, to respect every gender, to respect every living human being and animal and every living thing on this planet Earth. And that is about peace through inclusion and diversity. Peaceful learning environment. Yes, I'm talking about outdoor and indoor setup, which is peace enabling. Like if we walk into certain schools, certain areas, it's so peaceful, so loving, it's so inviting, and it is a place where I feel, I develop some positive thoughts. So we need to create environments in the classroom which are not chaotic, which are not kind of, very tacky, which are not very cluttered. Things need to be easily accessible. The outdoors should be full of greenery. So all of this comes in learning, peaceful learning environments, and then peaceful communication and conflict resolution, the language that we use. Peace language in classroom, democratic setup in classroom, teachers telling students to, understand inclusion, sharing, caring, and they are themselves role modeling what they are saying. Very, very important. So this course for educators is so integral because as early childhood educators, once they understand the peaceful communication, conflict resolution, setting up learning environments, practicing inclusion and diversity, inner peace, and all of it, creativity, how they can be innovatively, putting in activities which are creative and at the same time help children release emotional turmoil or trauma. It is really going to be helpful for the school and the educators and the children. So why educators need the PeaCept course? So this is interesting. Many with question, why do I need to do PeaCept? I already know so much. I have been, kind of doing all of this already, but there are a lot of things we miss. There are a lot of things we miss on the way. We need to, you know, uh, keep revisiting certain concepts. We need to keep learning new things. So, in today's classroom, we see new challenges. There are a lot of children who are coming in with special abilities. We have seen too many teachers telling us about how children are changing nowadays. They are not sitting in one place. They are all acting in different manner. It never used to be 2 3 years back. Now children after the pandemic has really really changed. So we are in a state of chaos, emotional dysregulation, too much of exposure to screen time, too much of exposure to junk food, less of nutrition, less of good things. Like, the way we eat, if we eat junk, our stomach gets, the gut is upset, the gut is our second brain. If we are feeding our minds with lot of chaotic information, negative things, the mind also develops clutter. And we can very well see screen dependency, behavioral challenges I've already talked about, anxiety in children. Children are now more anxious, they are more somehow scared, I feel. They are not the way they used to be or we used to be during our early childhood. Things are changing, the world is changing, there's a lot of uncertainty. Every household speaks about, shortage of fuel, shortage of something, uh, impending closure due to some pandemic, some hunter virus. So the children are always in a situation, an environment which is anxious. They need peace. There is reduced attention span in children, which we have seen, reduced IQ as well. So now the teenagers who are, testing their IQs, it's apparently less than that of their parents. Can you beat that? And then social disconnect, because of the dependency on screen. There's a lot of social disconnect. We can see children are not communicating. There is less of speech development. There's less of expression. There's less of overall communication and bonding that is noticed in early childhood classrooms. And this is what I have heard from all the facilitators I've trained in all these years. Things are changing. Why are things changing? Every time when I take up a course, when I deliver some training in a school, they say that, ma'am, everything is different in our classroom now. So PeaCept will equip educators with peace-based classroom strategies. We will be talking about a lot of things. There's a toolkit, I would tell you. There's a toolkit that will be giving to facilitators who will be doing the course, and they will get to understand how and what are the different ways in which they would be able to bring about peace-based classroom environment, which is very congenial for the child's development. Emotional regulation techniques will be taught. SEL integration methods, how socio-emotional learning can be integrated with academic learning, conscious communication skills, for sure, because we are talking about how we are conversing in a more purposeful manner, with words which are chosen, words which are peaceful. Mindfulness practices for children, various practices would be there where children are taught mindfulness, inclusive teaching approaches, child-centered conflict resolution techniques. So there'll be a lot of things that will come along with this course, and we are talking about all of this, which will be integrated, and at the same time the educators will get to understand. When you take up a course, I'll be sharing about the course details eventually. And today also, when we are doing the short term course, I'm trying to tell that why we need these concepts now. It's not about educators who are into this domain for the past 20, 30 years. Educators, you have to understand one thing: the society has changed, everything has changed, and we need to upgrade ourselves. So these are certain things that you'll be learning, and how PeaCept helps in early childhood classroom. Obviously, we have seen changes happening here. Outcomes in the classroom: better emotional regulation. Children who used to be so chaotic have now known how to label the emotion, how to recognize what to do, emotional self-regulation. They have learned the slow breathing. There are a lot of ways in which the children are starting to regulate themselves. Reduce aggression has been noticed in schools who is following PeaCept, and improve classroom harmony. There's a lot of sharing, caring, compassion, empathy, which is developed among children. And they are, in fact, one incident I would tell you, where a child was ready to share his color box with his peer, and this child was so possessive about his colors that he would never want to share them. But after doing PeaCept, and after having some activities which were on sharing and caring and looking at others' needs, the child started to consciously choose to share. So this is such a beautiful thing that we had seen. Stronger teacher-child relationship is developed, increase empathy and kindness, improve concentration and participation. So when it is a democratic classroom, there is more participation of students. No one is left out. Everybody is included. There's a lot of inclusion, better peer interaction, and holistic development. So this will enable child to have holistic development, all-round development of the major skills that they need to develop besides only literacy and numeracy. So we are giving so much importance to literacy and numeracy, but in our lives, just imagine if today you are not peaceful, you're not happy when you come out of your house, and you reach a school, there's a lot of things that is nagging you at the back of your mind. Would you be able to deliver a good class? Just write in the chat box or in the comment section that would you be able to deliver a good class when your mind is chaotic and when you're not in peace with yourself because you are not able to emotionally self-regulate yourself. Just be honest in your answers, and you'll get to understand the value of peace. Peace is not only about marks, the score, and all of that. It is about ourselves. It's about living every moment happily and accepting ourselves and trying to go beyond what is visible to us, trying to find our inner self and moving forward. So the classroom practices include peace corners, mindfulness breathing, gratitude circles, emotional check-ins, story-based peace learning, nature connection activities, and reflective conversations. So in our classrooms, we have seen increased cooperation, respectful communication, better social interaction, and positive behavior inside and outside the classroom. So here we are, so happy that there's so much of change that we can see in this very short period of time. And the teachers are also very happy when I've told them that how are you feeling implementing these strategies in your classroom, and they are saying that they really love it and they are really happy to see a classroom which is more peaceful, more inclusive, and where there is heart over pressure. There is more love over pressure. So we will talk about these peace corners. So we develop these peace corners where children, when they are feeling restless, they can move towards that corner. How to set up the corner is there in a manual. And then mindful breathing, we have these exercises, gratitude circles. Every day you need to be thankful for what God has given you, and you will see the results. God will give you more, and it's like manifesting what you want. Emotional check-ins, trying to understand how I'm feeling now. Am I overwhelmed giving this course? Uh, am I happy giving this course? Yeah, obviously, I'm very happy doing this today with all of you. And story-based peace learning. So storytelling is a very, very big tool in terms of sending a message across. And story based peace learning is such a beautiful concept where children are listening to stories. They are, uh, you know, wiring the brains in terms of peace, in terms of uh, understanding the story through the eye of choosing peace over conflict or choosing peace over any kind of negative choices that they may have. Nature connection activity. Nature is so pure, so lovely, so beautiful. It's so sad to see that the nature is being ruined by people who have not actually been exposed to a good quality early childhood education, and maybe their home environments were also not so good. So they do not understand the value of nature, the value of hygiene, the value of um, conservation of the flora, the fauna, loving nature, cleanliness, all of those things. When they don't understand, I actually feel very sad for such kind of people. And reflective conversations where we are choosing peace words and we are not choosing harsh words, where children feel that they are not that good. So reflective conversations come under this. So who can do the course? Now when we discuss about who are the people who are eligible to do this course, a lot of people who are eligible: the preschool educators, of course, the early years teachers, school leaders, counselors, because counselors, when they are dealing with children in the early childhood years who are maybe disruptive, and that is why the parents have got to them to understand what is going on with their child. Yes, of course, the counselors, parents, teacher trainers, psychology students, uh, professionals, NGO educators, anyone working with young children. So we have a review put up because one of the schools, it's the Mahabahu Public School, where I had conducted a course, and this is a review from Mrs. Khurshida Begum, who is the owner of the school, and how much they have gained from a 1 day course that I did with them. But of course, I would be doing a lot of follow up courses as well. And I'm really happy to see a lot of positive reviews coming in from early childhood educators, from the schools who have called me for training. So I think it's going to be really, really helpful for all of you if you also enroll for the long term course. Because today is only a tip of the iceberg. I'm just showing what PeaCept is about and how it is beneficial. But if you enroll for the courses, of course, you'll get to know a lot and you'll also be certified. Now, if you look at the course structure and duration, yes, before going into that, why you need to do this course, it is NEP aligned. It is very, very relevant because looking at today's time, we need children who are able to be in touch with their feelings, who are able to handle emotions, who are able to, negotiate, navigate, and who has a lot of resilience. And this course is recognized. It is also, presented in Dubai. It has been presented in Indonesia, in Jakarta, in Bali, in Cirebon. And I also presented this course, a workshop on this in Thailand. So it's widely accepted and it's accredited by ECDF. So basically, we've been giving courses through ECDF as well. And yeah, of course, we have the International Montessori Teacher Training Academy, which is called IMTA. And basically, I give out all my courses through IMTA and certified through IMTA with the ECDF logo as well. So these courses are both online and offline. So there's a flexible learning option. And we have 1 day integrated course, like I told you about these workshops that I have been doing in different schools in different parts of Assam. I've also done it online in Imphal. And then we have the short-term certificate courses of 1 month, 6 weeks, and 3 months. And we have the diploma courses as well. Now, these courses are available online, offline, and hybrid. So anybody from any part of India, any part of the world who is interested to know more about this or take up a course, get certified, can get in touch with us. And the course definitely will have the course books, it will have the activities, a little bit of the toolkit that we'll be providing so that the teachers have an insight into how they should go ahead with it. And then there'll be reflection exercises, classroom applications, and of course the certification, which will depend on the duration of the course, which is like if it is a certificate course up to 3 months, say 1 month, 1 day, 1 week, all of it would be certificate courses. But when somebody does a 6 months course, it's going to be a diploma and PeaCept for early years. So if we want peaceful societies tomorrow, we must first create peaceful childhood today. This is a journey that I have covered with you for almost 35 minutes. I've timed myself up so that I do not over exceed the time, but yes, I'm well within time. It's 35 minutes, whereas I have 45 minutes. So if we are educators who are motivated to develop a society in future, we may see the society, we may, I don't know, not even live to see it, but our contribution, like every drop of water to the ocean, would actually build up the ocean. It is going to be very, very vital and crucial. And every facilitator who is a part of Vasavvi's PeaCept for early years is actually bringing in a revolution, because this is not my peace pedagogy, it is our peace pedagogy. It is something we owe to the society, it is something we owe to this earth, and we need to give it back. So be a part of this, revolution. Be a part of PeaCept for early years. So this is what I wanted to tell you, and I would want you to take 3 deep breaths in and out. before we move to the last slide. And here we will do a little breathing exercise so that whatever we understood or learned or saw in these last half an hour where I have conducted this course, you can just seep in. So please close your eyes. Keep your hands and your legs uncrossed. Put your hands on your thigh with the palm facing upward. And close your eyes very gently. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Breathe out slowly. Hold. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Breathe out slowly. Hold. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Breathe out slowly. Hold. When you breathe in, breathe peace, love, positivity. Hold. When you breathe out all negativity that is within you and extract it from your body. Hold. Breathe in peace, love, harmony, positivity. Hold. Breathe out any blackish energy, negativity within you. Hold. Slowly open your eyes. I hope you're all feeling nice and relaxed with this one simple exercise that I have told you to do. And I feel, if you feel peaceful, please write in the comment box and just share your thoughts about it. So moving to the last slide, PeaCept for Early Years is not just a course. It is a movement towards nurturing emotionally intelligent, compassionate, conscious, and 21st century ready future generations. So be a part of PeaCept if you want to know more. Every detail is given in our website, which is www.peacept.in. And you may get in touch with me at 98640-39655. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any question, you can type in the comment section, or you may write to me directly, and I would be most willing and happy to help you out with any doubts, anything that you would want to know more about this curriculum. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I am really, really glad that I could deliver this course. So PeaCept for Early Years in front of you today. I have been delivering courses, and like I said, it's really, really interesting to be, conducting such courses and to see the results that we are seeing recently. And yeah, thank you so much for being a part of this. And we are conducting more continuous professional development activities virtually in our forum, the Early Childhood Development Forum. And so I would want you to join these from time to time and whenever you're free. And these are all free resources, so you can look into this even in our YouTube channel, which is Early Childhood Development Forum. And you can also follow us in our Facebook pages, the Global Voices, ECDF Global Voices, and is Early Childhood Development Forum page in Facebook. So it was a pleasure conducting this course today. See you again, and see you very soon with other activities and other events of ECDF. Be a part of the ECDF family, become members, help us in our mission to help children in the early childhood years, to give them relief, to give them educational materials in whatever ways possible. So this is our mission. And yes, of course, peace is my mission and your mission as well. So love you all. Take care and see you again soon. Bye-bye.